Hello, yat Delbert Anderson, Yanisha, but ni initially class che bashichin, kintlachitni dashiche, tortachitni dashanella. I am here in Farmington, New Mexico. I was born in Shiprock on the Navajo Reservation. I play the trumpet, and I would like to say, a jazz trumpet musician, jazz trumpet artist. When I was in fourth grade, we had the pleasure of choosing an instrument that we liked. But the day before we chose our instruments, there was a jazz band who came in, and there was a trombone player who was playing music off of a stand. And at the very end of the show, he turned the stand around where he couldn't see the music. And he started to play and play and play his trombone, and it was really cool, and I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And that's when I realized that we don't need sheet music to actually make music. And the trombone player was telling us that the music was coming from his experiences or from inside himself. It wasn't the sheet that was giving the music, it was himself. So I thought that was a very cool thing, and I immediately next day went to try and play a trombone, but I wasn't able to make a note on it. So I tried the trumpet and ended up playing 2 notes, and the people there, the music teacher, said, I think you should try trumpet. So that's how I got into music, and just the love of creating music from within inside myself. That's what put me into this whole music career that I'm in right now. I think one of the coolest things is when you perform, it almost acts like a test. And when everyone takes tests, they hope they do really well, and they wait on a grade. And if it's an A, they feel happy about it. They feel accomplished. Well, in the way that I kind of look at music is, when we have a really great performance, you can see the audience. The audience will start clapping, or afterwards they'll tell you how great of a job that you've done. But something that's a little different about me is I write my own music. I don't play other pieces of music. I tend to compose my own music and really get to write whatever I want. I've been using a lot of the Diné culture, the spinning songs. I listen to a lot of those for inspiration. If there's something that I hear or like, I put it down on sheet music, and I start practicing it and putting it around and seeing what's possible with that melody. And a lot of times I bring this melody to the band or whoever I'm playing with, and they are able to create parts around that melody. And so that's how I really love composing, because it's so free, and you really get to meet a lot of friends along the way, make new friends, and be able to make music with another person is such a valuable thing. But back to performing, I perform quite often, and after each performance, there's just a really great feeling of accomplishment, because leading up to the performances, we practice a lot. We do a lot of things. We have to keep practicing our instruments. We practice as a group every week. We're going to conferences and music conferences, trying to establish relationships and getting more gigs, festivals, performing arts centers, different projects. Everything we do kind of falls within music. So those are some things that I really like about performing and composing is the feedback you get. And because sometimes there'll be an audience member who might really connected with the piece that you played, and sometimes they cry, and or it brings back certain memories for them. And so just being able to see that and witness that and hear that back from the audience is priceless. It's really fun. It's a really great thing to do. Just recently, we had a ton of musical accomplishments. We've received, I would say, about 4 or 5 grants recently, just to do community music work or to do certain projects. We have about 8 or 9 projects that are all touring right now. There's a musical, there's a piece with an orchestra that we're featured in. There's educational stuff. We go into schools and we help schools. We also have a wellness program, which we go into like detention centers, or we talk to those who are struggling in rehab facilities. So because music can heal as well, and we're in that. There's another project called Spirit Coalescent, which where we try to pool the healing of actual land and give it to our audience through poetry, music, dance, and visual arts. We use all of those art mediums to explain how the land can heal us. There's a Two Cultures project. Where we will be in South Africa with 4 different South African tribes, and we are going to discuss their word in their language called Ubuntu, and then we're also going to compare that with our Dene word, Honjon. And so we're going to find the similarities between those 2 words, and we're going to write music, a 12-track album about those similarities between those 2 words. And we're also involved with a project called Welcome to Indian Country. It's a full indigenous band, and we play new music, old music, but it's all a tribute and celebration of being indigenous. Some of the cool things that I recently done was I composed music for a constellation for NASA. It's called a Thunderbird. That will be coming out soon, later. A lot of our music, our first album, Manitou, it was selected. It was actually the top 10 in the U.S. on NPR, National Public Radio. And we also, like I said, there's a lot of the grant stuff that we received from Chamber Music America to do tours, virtual tours. There was personal grants that I've received to record. Actually, going to be recording a Don Cherry tribute album. Don Cherry is a trumpet player who is a very visionary. He loves to improvise, and he's not like anyone else that you can think of. He's very unique. So we're doing a tribute album to Don Cherry within the next couple of days, and there's just so many things that music has given myself. There many music sort of awards, grants. Community is something that's been very big. I've been asked to do a lot of different things that doesn't even relate to music as well, like community development or educational programs, creating educational programs for students. And all of it is because of music. Music stretches far into different fields. It's not only playing or anything, but there's a lot to look out for in business. I've composed for films, a lot of short films, been in a lot of books that were published, and it was all because of my sort of vision on music that contains Native American melodies or inspiration. I think going out to concerts, to live concerts, whether whatever it is, it could be poetry slam, a jazz jam, just a jam in general, or an open mic. I think participating in those kinds of things, and you don't have to go up and play or anything, but just because you're there, I think that's something that's very important for the community, because you're actually creating a culture. You're creating connections with the people using art, which is far more deeper than just trying to hang out and get to know one another. If you put art in between two people, your relationship is going to be much better. And the more that comes together, the more things that, the more opportunities and art shows or performances will start to come. Um, Art is a way of healing. People like to create art because it gets their mind off of things, and also it helps them express, whether they're feeling sad, happy, uh, stressed, or depressed. It's a way they can express that into art. When you put sad feelings into art, it changes the art, and the art can accept any kind of feeling, because that's what art is. It's an expression, it's an experience that you've had, but you're putting it into a more healthy environment, and you're dealing with yourself in a very healthy way. There's a lot of people who get mad at themselves and they put themselves down if they're going through a lot of things, but with art, you can draw, you can put those feelings on paper, you can draw it out, you can make a song. There's just so many things that can happen, and there's a lot of people who heal themselves through art. Our lead vocalist, James Pacotis, was in a very bad area in his life, and spoken word, the art form of language, actually brought him out of a very dark path. And he is now a motivational speaker. He's doing great. He's writing music with us. We're traveling all over the world with him. And so that was a great example of why and how art can heal a person. And I, just encourage everyone to join band, try and pick up an instrument and learn. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to, rehearse it. The idea is to just familiarize yourself with these instruments and play, because one thing about art is you never know who has that talent. There's a lot of times when many people pick up a guitar and they can't play, or they don't know how to play. But I've seen children and elders who picked up guitars and immediately know how to play, and it's just like a second language to them. They just know a lot about it. So you never really know until you try these things. So it's very important to put yourself out there, be a part of the arts community, because the only way arts is going to change and begin to be good for everybody is when we all start taking part in it and participating. So I encourage everyone to get your friends together, create a band, create an art walk, do a showcase. If you have drawings, put them up one day in a building or something, and invite people in and talk about it. What's the expression? Why did you make it? How did you make it? A lot of these things might not sound very important, but it really is, in the sense of a collective or in a sense of a community. If you can get people to believe in you and begin to see what you're seeing, it's a great thing for everybody, and everyone will be able to connect together very easily after that. The song that I'm going to play for you is called Tin Deo, and it was made famous by the great Dizzy Gillespie, who is a trumpet player. And Dizzy Gillespie likes to play a lot of high notes, a lot of fast passages, and he also had, his cheeks used to, his cheeks used to puff out really big, so like bigger than that. If you ever see a picture of Dizzy Gillespie, you'll see how big his cheeks is. I'll put a picture up right after this. This is Tin Deo.